Welcome to another exciting episode from Marvelous Videos. I'm your host, Tia Ayer. Wade Eiling origin explained in detail. General Wade Eiling, at times addressed as the General, is a military tactician who is accountable for the creation of Captain Atom as well as Major Force. Developed by writer Cary Bates and artist Pat Broderick, the character of Wade Eiling made his first appearance back in the year 1987 in the first issue of Captain Atom. Right from the very beginning, the character has time and again not only proven to be a prickle for many DC superheroes, but has also given a face to the shady government risks involved. I guess it would not be wrong at all to regard him as the main figure of a wily, crooked military chief in the DC universe. Well then, pep yourself up for today's video, where we are not only going to delve deeper into the origins of Wade Eiling, a power-hungry, headstrong man bent by his vision as a servant of his country, but also throw light on how his voluptuous, devious ways have impacted so many heroes. Are you ready? Let's do this then. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Who is Wade Eiling, aka the General? Remember how we described him as a military tactician right at the very beginning? Well, let's make that a conniving, corrupt military honcho, one who has had a very lengthy record of misusing his power to accomplish his personal patriotic ends. General Wade Eiling has been in charge of a highly classified U.S. military experiment known as the Captain Atom Project, the purpose of which was to make the most advanced weapon that the world has ever seen, or in other words, a superhuman soldier. Since he commanded the experiments, it goes without saying that he needed a guinea pig, so no points for guessing who that turned out to be. Well, for those who don't know, the test subject turned out to be United States Air Force officer Nathaniel Christopher Adams, one who had been framed for a crime that he did not even commit in the first place. Needless to say, Adams was under military justice when Eiling gives him a choice of either signing up for the atomic experiment or be put to death. Having no other options left, Adam agrees to volunteer for the project. The result which turns him into a nuclear metahuman known as Captain Atom. However, the project is deemed a failure with a sudden disappearance and supposed destruction of atoms. But does that stop Eiling? Of course not. He goes ahead with the same experiment, and this time with a new experimental subject, Clifford Zmek, also a member of the United States Air Force, but with a rather disreputable past. Zmek was offered a pardon by Eiling with the condition that he volunteered for the same experiment. This leads to the creation of Major Force, but with the same accident taking place again. Zmek is assumed to be dead as well, but unbeknownst to Eiling, both Adams and Zmek were simply pulled from time and taken 20 years ahead into the future. Well, of course, Adams returns back, and so does Zmek, but to the former shock, Eiling had already married his wife by then. Not just that, he was also fathering both his children. Eiling takes his evil ways some notches higher by making Adams work for him as well, as the US government as the hero Captain Atom. If you were thinking why Adams would agree to work for him after everything that the former has done, well, the wicked Eiling had his ways, of course, his very children he used as a bargaining chip to have Adams under control, or to put it in a slightly better manner, promises of making him see his family again. Adams, as Captain Atom, is sent on a mission to retrieve a lost submarine, but the operation turns out to be an utter failure, leading to a great amount of embarrassment on the part of Eiling in front of his superiors. As fate would have it, Eiling is later diagnosed with a brain tumor, one that just can't be operated on in any manner. Not ready to accept his fate, Eiling comes up with his own scheme. Sending a military team to the bottom of the Pacific Ocean, he retrieves the indestructible body of Shaggy Man. Of course, Green Lantern, as well as Aquaman, do their best to stop his men, but they fail to do so, and Shaggy Man eventually gets delivered to Eiling, who by then had already planned his next move, a massive attack on the Justice League. The superhero team not only finds themselves suddenly ambushed by the American military forces, but they also realize that the attack is being led by the International Ultramarine Corps, more like government-sponsored metahuman soldiers genetically enhanced by Eiling's team of scientists. With Batman, Huntress, and Plastic Man eventually tracking down Eiling, the trio is absolutely appalled to discover that Eiling has not only taken his life, but has also transferred his brain patterns into the indestructible body of Shaggy Man. One peek at his computer and all of his military plans, the blueprints of the brain transfer, as well as the flawed Ultramarine project, everything gets disclosed. As for Eiling, he does make an appearance. we witness him in the shaved body of the Shaggy Man, which is quite a sight indeed. To top it, he even addresses his new self as the General. While all of this is happening, let's not forget about the fight that the JLA has engaged with the military forces and the Ultramarine Corps. The battle only ends when Superman uses his super senses and is able to let the Ultramarine Corps know how they have been nothing more than pawns in the General's pursuit of power and control. It goes without saying that the Ultramarine Corps, who had come forward with their services in good faith, feel betrayed enough to switch sides and help the JLA instead. But even with the collective efforts of the superheroes and the Ultramarines, the General cannot be stopped. Thanks to Batman for finally figuring out a way, having noticed that the General's tactical edge and focus are sort of weak in his new form, he along with the team are able to lead Eiling into a transport pad, one that teleports him to 433 Eros. The General. Electrifying backstory from Justice League Unlimited. You know, there was a time when the General was heading the U.S. military response to the Darkheart invasion. For those of you who are wondering what the Darkheart was, well, it was an extremely advanced alien construct, one that was capable of interminably recreating itself using nanotechnology. Coming back to the story, Eiling initially greeted the Justice League, who had already come to curb the threat. With the superheroes doing their job, Eiling, along with his men, moved out to the local people. But then he became flustered upon discovering that the League's watchtower had a binary fusion weapon that was used as a part of the containment. Once the calamity subsided, Eiling seized what was left of the Darkheart technology, asserting that his researchers would gain a lot from something that had literally overpowered the Justice League. He also warned the superheroes for possessing a weapon of mass destruction. Well, post the troubling and rather unsettling expos of the Justice League having a weapon of mass destruction and Eiling thinking that they are using it against Earth, his main target now was to overthrow the Justice League. So he wasted simply no time in becoming a crucial member of a secret division of the United States government, Project Cadmus, to be more precise, so as to acquire more power and go against the Justice League in case they went rogue. It was during this time with Cadmus that one actually got a fair idea of how evil Eiling truly was. For someone giving us vibes of being a dedicated American nationalist, he surely had a mind of a dictator. For someone who thinks that he is only serving his country, well, in his mind he wanted a country and army to be most formidable. Also, he literally cares a zilch when it comes to the lives of people. Democracy meant nothing to him. Now we all know who Doomsday is. Those who don't, and we doubt if there's any, well, Doomsday was a monstrous being, a result of Project Cadmus, or to be more precise, the division's failsafe with an ability to kill Superman in case the latter ever went rogue. So you all can imagine what happens when Doomsday escapes the facility and tries to kill Superman. Of course, we have Amanda Waller, the head of Project Cadmus, commanding Eiling to stop him. Well, don't be surprised to hear the solution that the General came up with. Fire a missile with a nuclear kryptonite warhead, in spite of the very fact that Superman, as well as the rest of the Justice League, were already in the midst of a rescue operation vacating the civilians from an erupting volcanic island. Sad on the part of Eiling that he could not get what he desired. With Batman stopping the missile and Superman defeating Doomsday, Eiling's plan of taking down both Superman and Doomsday in a single shot flopped miserably. Looking for a way to get back at the League, a ready-to-go to any extent Eiling had Captain Atom assigned to Cadmus. While Captain Atom insisted on the fact that he was a part of the League then, Eiling knew exactly what to do. We are thinking of something to do with Captain Atom's oath of service and his sense of duty. Perhaps. Oh, the wicked Eiling not only had Captain Atom attack Superman, but also had Waller send Galatea and the Ultiman clones to ambush the Justice League. He was literally relishing the fight taking place in the new facility of Cadmus when Batman broke in and punched him out. Post Lex Luthor's involvement with Cadmus, the organization was made to alter his functioning focus, and Eiling was recasted back to administrative duty. While Waller was more than grateful about the fact that they were not sent to imprisonment for their actions, Eiling was even more paranoid and irrational. He literally went to the extent of accusing Superman, the Justice League, and as well as every metahuman in general for the current state of the world. Let's not disregard the fact that Eiling also did not believe that the Justice League had demolished their space weapon, planning to demonstrate to the world that the League was not the only superpower on the planet. Eiling laid his hands, or let's say stole a highly classified Nazi body enhancement chemical, one that was taken by Spy Smasher during the Second World War. The serum mutated Eiling into a hideous, bulky form, amplifying his strength and immunity in the process. In fact, he became so strong that it was pretty easy on the part of Eiling to defeat the 7 soldiers of victory, and at the same time, also put the lives of innocent people at risk, addressing them as acceptable losses. What followed next was a lengthy, exhaustive battle, and it was only after the spectators there managed to confront him boldly about his so-called patriotic act that Eiling eventually realized that he was similarly being a threat to the people the same way he regarded the Justice League to be. Eiling eventually surrendered to the fact that he had eventually become what he disliked the most, but also strongly claimed that he was right about the League and vowed to come back believing that his country will need him. Not much is known regarding what happens to him post the Metropolis incident. What makes the General so deadly? Possessing the indestructible body of Shaggy Man, General Eiling was unbelievably strong, exceedingly fast, and almost unstoppable. When lifting heavy weights, say more than 100 tons, feels easy to him, you do get the idea who you are dealing with. Simultaneously engaging himself in a fight with several Justice League members isn't really a big deal for him. Next comes his invulnerability. The fact that he is absolutely resistant to physical injury, weathering blows from Superman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Zariel, and many more concurrently, and still feeling no pain is certainly something to think about, right? Ever thought why else would the Justice League members have tricks as their last resort to defeat him? Well, if you have not, then it's high time that you give it a definite thought. Right from surviving in harsh environments, we are talking about space here, and that too without any level of discomfort, to having ridiculously high regenerative skills, like getting completely regenerated when there is just a single arm that is left of him. Wait, is more to Eiling. You will be surprised to know about his superhuman sense of smell. While fighting Batman, he literally could smell his enemy's adrenaline, and if you think that that is crazy, wait till you hear this. Possessing the indestructible body of Shaggy Man made Eiling immortal, which means there's literally zero need for him to drink, sleep, eat, or even breathe for that matter. Apart from all of these, General Eiling was a gifted military strategist with an extensive amount of military training and experience, besides the fact that he was also a scheming, corrupt military leader that makes him deadly, literally in every possible manner.
Half of them, anyway. Who are you? General Wade Eiling, United States Army.
Monstrous form of the General in the Flash TV series. Portrayed by Clancy Brown, the character of General Wade Eiling appears on the CW live-action series The Flash. Here he is a 2-star U.S. Army general who has already been working with Star Labs. In other words, he had been carrying his inhumane experiments on Grodd until Harrison Wells got a whiff of his activities and shut down the experiments while breaking ties with him too. First noticed in the episode titled Plastique, Eiling is seen in charge of a task force to capture Betty Sansusi for her power of turning ordinary objects into explosives upon physical contact. But that can't be it. It's Wade Eiling that we are talking about. Of course Eiling shot and killed her. In episode titled The Nuclear Man and Fallout, Eiling tries to retrieve the metahuman Firestorm of his abilities, of course, but in the process gets kidnapped by Eobard Thawne and Grodd. In Grodd Lives, the titular gorilla makes full use of his telepathic powers to mind control Eiling and makes him rob armored cars. It was only after Team Flash defeated Grodd that Eiling was ultimately liberated from Grodd's mind control and released from the pipeline. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.
Why don't you give up?
Why don't you?